Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a mental break. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to new subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to keep it going. Let's jump right in because y'all ain't clicked just to hear me go yap, yap, yap about nothing. All right, let's talk about this reunion part one. Okay. The ladies, I wasn't liking the looks. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. The looks I didn't like really what nobody was wearing, to be honest. Nobody to me looked, all that great as far as what they were wearing. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep yawning. Nobody looked that great to me. I think the looks could have been better, and I guess they had no theme this year because everybody just had on anything. I like it when they do the themes, but anyway, let's just jump right in. Um, they took we, Tamra's the usual. She's always every reunion. Tamra's apologizing. I ain't never seen nothing like it because Tamra does something every season that she has to apologize for. It's ridiculous. Tamra and Shannon were talking about it. Shannon says she no longer wants to be her friend. Again, I'm looking into Shannon not returning next season. I don't know. Um, I'm still waiting to hear about that because there was some talk about it that she didn't want to return. Um, working with, she didn't want to work with certain people, whatever. Anyway, we'll see about that. Jen, I'm happy that Jen was standing up for herself, which she needed to. She stood up for herself with Emily. I'm glad she clapped back at Emily because I'm tired of these women getting on Jen. Now, does Jen need to get a clue and, level up and have some things of her own? Yes, this is true. But the way that these ladies are coming at her, that's not the way you do it. If you're going to sit up there and say, "Oh, Jen needs to get a job or do this or do that," then why don't anyone actually try to help her or ask her, is there anything that she's interested in doing? And not on camera. How about behind the scenes, like Vicky did with Laura in the early seasons when Laura needed a job? When Laura wasn't working and she wound up marrying that other guy, whatever his name is, I forgot. But that ain't the point. The point is that behind the scenes, if you really think that this girl needs, to get it together, then talk to her. And then if she doesn't want to, then okay, leave her alone. All of that, oh, she got two Rolexes and Emily talk about one doesn't work. Listen, y'all are just mad again because this girl, well, not girl, Jen, this woman has been taken care of her whole life. That's not her fault. That's the people around her's fault. Now, what Jen needs to do at this point in her life, because Ryan comes with a lot of red flags, is that she does need to get herself together. She does need to, level up on her own because, again, if Ryan is participating in illegal activity, and this is something that comes out and he may have, assets froze or whatever the case may be, then Jen will be out again if she marries Ryan because right now she's getting spousal and child support. But if she marries Ron, she will only get the child support. So again, Jen does need to, level up and have some money of her own, a career of her own, or something to call her own. But it's not for these women to keep jumping on her back about what something costs, how much she's wearing. That's none of y'all business. That's ridiculous to me. If she's not asking y'all for money, y'all act like that she took out payday loans with all y'all. That's why how y'all act. That's ridiculous to me. But anyway, I'm gonna move on because all that just got on my nerves. I'm gonna skip over to Katie. Now, I don't know what happened with this lawsuit that not lawsuit, but incident that Katie had before, but I believe that Katie followed the person back to his house. I believe that. I believe that she did it because I don't think nobody's going to put a police officer is not going to put that in a report unless it actually happened. Nobody's just going to magically put, "Oh, she followed me here." No, it has to be some evidence that that happened. So, and I can see because like again, we don't know these people. We see them on television for an hour, really less than that with commercials, and we don't really know who they really are when the cameras go off. Now, even though I like Katie on the show, on this show. I think she's a good addition. I like anybody that challenges Heather because I don't like Heather, and I don't have to say it again because you guys already know that. So I don't have to say how much I don't like her, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't like her. And I'm gonna get to why I don't like her later on in this stream here. I got some stuff I done picked up from Up and Adam today, so I really don't like Heather. But I'm going to get to that later. So it's just ridiculous to me that they keep that that we think that these women are not capable of doing some of the things that they're saying off camera, because I believe it about Gina and Travis, because Gina did not deny it. It was brought up again, and Gina never said out of her mouth, I didn't push him down the steps. That never happened. Who said this? Like, none of this was coming out, even though Gina know it was out on the tabloids. But the point I'm making is, I'm not saying that Gina did it maliciously. I don't think that Gina is the type to be, say, intentionally malicious. I think that something happened and it happened. But back to Katie, though. Katie, again, I believe that she did it. I believe there's something going on there. I believe also when you listen to Katie's story, I believe there were circumstances around that. That was a time in her life when there was a lot going on and it wasn't a good time in her life. Katie sounds like that she's had, I'm going to say, a colorful past because I don't know. But it sounds like there's some issues there. There's some issues with the first husband, why the son chose to stay with the father. There's like some stuff there. There was a point in time when Katie didn't have her kids. It's some stuff going on there that we don't know about. And I'm not going to sit here and say if it was indeed Katie's fault or something else. I don't know. All I know is that the ladies were saying something that does appear to be true. That whenever they ask Katie about anything, there's always some story, and the story just gets kind of convoluted a little bit. So that it is some truth to that, because I do see where the ladies are coming from with that. I do see that part. But again, like I said, I like Katie. I think she's a welcome addition. I just think that there's some issues there that just it's some stuff there that I just find kind of weird. It's just something like I don't I'm not getting it, because with the ex-husband, this is another thing I'm kind of unsure about. Now with the ex-husband, is he the father of the daughter? Because if that's the case, the son stayed with him. So why is it that the daughter, she said they got divorced when the daughter was 9. So if the son stayed, then why doesn't the father want to be bothered with the daughter if that's his biological daughter as well? That's why I said this is all weird to me. And I don't think that we're going to get all the answers right away unless if Katie stays on the next season or whatever, or a couple more seasons, maybe we'll get more intel on what that's all about, because Katie has some skeletons in her closet that might be able to clear up some of the things that's going on now. So maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna skip over to Gina again. That whole thing with Gina and Travis, and again, um, I don't understand why Gina is so forgiving with Shannon. I understand that Shannon apologized. She tried to get it together. But Gina and Shannon have had that rocky relationship for a few seasons now, where Shannon acts like she cares about Gina and then she'll say something nasty, and it'll just be this back and forth thing. And I don't know. I think Gina should like call it a day with Shannon at this point. Um, I don't know about that. It's just all getting on my nerves. um, what I did like is that Jen clapped back at Emily, which I loved when she said that she heard that Shane's in-laws funds their whole life, and I believe there's some truth to that. Now I'm not saying that the in-laws may pay for everything, but I believe that the in-laws help out, because Shane didn't pass the bar for a long time. So where was he working? What was he doing? And I'm with Jen. Where your law cases at? because well, Shane is a Mormon, so I'm sure he's going to do well whatever he does, because the Mormon community, they make sure that everybody is making money and productive. And for what Emily is saying, the parents got the same kind of money that the Dubrows have on that level. So if that's the case, they probably are funding Shane's life, and that might, if Shane and Emily's life, and that might be why Emily has increased her drinking, because I believe that Emily is not as happy as she likes to claim she is. Because when Shane came out with that bouquet of flowers, talk about this is our marriage dead and this and that wasn't no joke. That's how he felt, child. That ain't no joke. Men don't joke like that. Men joke, but there'll be some truth to that, child. So that he meant that, because I think there's some issues there. Because again, Shane is an ass, and I believe that he says some things behind the scenes to Emily, because I believe Emily has issues too. Now I'm wait till we get later on. I'm gonna get to this. I'm saving Heather for last. That's what I'm gonna tell you how big this is with Heather. Um. So and now Tamra, she talk about she's going to therapy. Girl, you should have been to therapy, and you ain't got enough time. You ain't got enough time. You should have been in therapy. But I think Tamara's going to therapy because she's getting all this backlash now. I think because Tamara should have been in therapy. Why are you just now going? Now you want to go because everybody's coming on you about how you were treating Shannon, because that was disgraceful in how you treated her. It's not your place to call her an alcoholic. It's not your place to talk to her like that. If Shannon, and like I said again, I'm not even calling her that, and I'm a psych nurse, and I've dealt with drug and alcohol all over the place, and I can't call her an alcoholic. What I can say is that Shannon has an issue with drinking. That's what I can say. But you cannot label somebody an alcoholic. That's something that they have to see a doctor, get diagnosed, and be treated for. And that's something that Shannon has to acknowledge. That's not for us to call her that. So Tamra is just running around doing everything but what she's supposed to do, which is taking care of her own home and her own business. Because Tamra got her own problems, and that's her problem. She need to deal with her own problems. About anger issues, honey. You got way more than anger issues. Way more. Um, Another issue. Oh, this is something else too, because there was a lot of sidebar conversations on this first reunion. Did you hear Katie and Jen talk about that Travis had a small penis because Gina brought it up? See, these women. See, this is what I don't understand. How these women get on national television and talk about the size of their men's penis because Gina says something about Travis, and who else says? Oh, Tamara says something about Eddie. Why are you doing that to men you are married to? I'm so confused. Except for Travis, men you're with. Let's just say that I'm so confused, because why would you tell other women about your man's junk if and you're with them? Like what are you saying it for? Like that, and you know you can't be saying things like that about a man. It's two things you can't say about a man from any culture, and that you can't talk about money or their penis size, because that's two hot topics for men, because that's what makes them who they are. So if you're saying, if you call it if you criticize a man for him being broke and this and that really kills his ego. So sometimes, they get real angry and want to come back and do something to you if you embarrass a man in public, or say something that humiliates him that has something to do with money. And then on top of that, you're going to say something about his penis. Child, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, because that's something that you should not do. That's something you should not do, because that's not going to go over with your men. And when you do something like that, it also shows that there's a problem in the relationship, because women don't complain about men's penis size unless there's a problem in the relationship. Because just because a man has a small penis, that don't mean he ain't good in bed. So if a woman if she's satisfied in bed, she's not going to talk about a small penis. If he's good in bed, and if he's a provider and he's a good husband, she's not going to talk about a small penis. She's not going to do that. So that's why I said there's problems in the marriage there, and there's problems with Gina and Travis, because women don't do that. They don't say out in public about a man's penis. That's usually something that a woman does because in the back of her mind, she's angry, mad, frustrated, or disappointed. So there's something going on there because one of those things exist. So that was wrong. Now, I'm going to get to, I think I'm going to go to Heather now because we still have two more parts and there's still a lot more to cover. But I think this is important to get out. Heather, number one, I'm going to say for the hundredth time, I don't like her. Um, and Heather also, when she was on the reunion, when she was talking to Jen, and she, oh no, Katie, when she was talking to Katie, excuse me, she was like, "Let me finish. Let me finish." I can't stand her. So I wish, oh my God, where is Kelly Dodd when you need her? Like, one thing I liked about Kelly being on the show, she didn't let anybody talk to her any kind of way. And that's because these women are not outspoken enough for me. There is no way in hell that I would let somebody like Heather talk to me the way that she was talking to Katie or Jen or anybody else with that condescending finger pointing and all that kind of stuff. Them bony old wrinkly fingers. I can't stand this damn woman. But anyway, let me get to what I found out from Up and Adam. If you want to, I think I'm going to add Up and Adam's link to the information that I got. But listen to this. Listen to this that I got from Up and Adam, which I got today. Uh, do y'all remember when Nicole and Noel was on the OC? And we're going to go back a couple years. They were on there before Jen and Katie. So I guess when Katie just came on this season, Jen's been on it for 2 seasons. So go back 2 seasons with Nicole and Noel. Now listen to this. Apparently, the Dubrows are the reason why they didn't come back the next season. And this is why I can't stand Heather. So apparently, that season when Noelle came on there, and remember, she sued the storyline was she sued Terry for a breast augmentation that didn't go right or whatever, and she did get a settlement. Now, apparently, Heather and Noelle, I'm sorry, um, oh, it's Nicole. I'm sorry, not Noelle. It's Nicole. Nicole, I'm sorry, I said Noelle. Nicole, because I took some notes. Nicole, her and Heather were friends for 6 years, according to Heather. And when she came to her party that night, Noelle was there and Nicole was there, and Nicole no, well, I don't know who said something to Heather. I can't remember. I think Gina was the one that went back and said something to her because Noelle brought it to the group. It was either Nicole. I think Noelle brought it to the group because Nicole told Noelle about it. So when they came to the party, Gina told Heather about um, Nicole. So Heather in turns goes to Terry and asks him about the lawsuit, and he was like, "Yeah, whatever." So Heather then in turn, goes to Nicole and talks to her and winds up asking her to leave her and Noelle because it winds up being some sort of argument. Now I vaguely remember it. I'm not going to go back and look at it because it's just I just don't feel like it. It's just not that deep. But this is my thing because this is a mental break. And see, again, on this channel, we look at things, break it down, what makes sense, and accountability. Now, according to Heather, she said that her and Nicole were friends for 6 years. She did not know that Nicole sued Terry. I have a question. Why wouldn't she know? She's his wife. I'm lost. I'm lost on that one. Terry had a lawsuit. You are his wife. So you never knew he had to go to court? He never told you he had to call a lawyer? He never said to you, "Hey, honey, your friend Nicole is suing me for a boob job that I did." So you didn't know that? So what that shows me is that you and your husband don't talk. That's what that shows me. Because why is it that Alexis and her husband, they were together when they sued Tamra and Shannon? Alexis knew all about that. So why is it you, Heather Dubrow, who does not work, who knows everything and loves her family and is so in tune with her family, not saying she doesn't love her family, I'm just saying, you're just this perfect wife and mother. How come you didn't know about it? Because I find that so strange. This woman was not a stranger to you. She was someone you knew. Let's say hypothetically they weren't best friends. Let's say they weren't best friends, they knew each other. But let's say they didn't know each other. Let's even go that route. Why wouldn't you know that your husband is being sued? Doesn't that affect you? I'm sure her settlement was some nice little change because she won. So I'm sure she got something. So that's why I said I'm trying to figure out what's the problem here. Now, let's get to what Up and Adam told me, because I done got through that. Now, apparently, after this episode, and it was time for Noel and Nicole to return for the next season, what a Dubrow said they ain't filming with them. And Heather got the other women on the bandwagon to tell the producers that they're not going to film with them so that they don't come back. And that's how Tamra came back. That's how Tamra and Jen came into the picture because of those two. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Um, excuse me. Also in this, uh, Dr. Jen, who was on there that same season, apparently her shots she was given, her whatever those injections she was given, well, they weren't FDA approved injections. So Nicole went back and told one of the producers at Bravo that they weren't approved shots, FDA approved. He goes back and tells Dr. Jen. Dr. Jen goes back and tells Heather, and Heather was like, well, I want her off the show anyway. So this is all, a part of it. And the producer's name is Thomas. And Thomas is still getting injections from Dr. Jen, they believe, because they having lunch together and all that kind of stuff. So poor Noelle, she got railroaded because she wasn't even a part of this, but because Nicole and Noelle are friends, Noelle got booted off of the show too because of the fact she's friends with Nicole. So Nicole thought that she was doing the right thing by saying, listen, these injections are not FDA approved. And here she get booted off the show because Heather wanted to go on anyway. So I just find this whole thing insane because, again, uh, Heather is a bully. I've been saying this from the very beginning. She uses her wealth, status, and influence to bully people, and that's why a lot of the cast members back down when it comes to her because they know what she's capable of, that she will try to do these things. This is what she does. So that's why I said I've never liked Heather. I think Heather is a miserable woman. I think she's miserable. I really do. I think she likes to, she's one of those people. That's the thing. I noticed this about people like Heather. Has anybody ever seen the miniseries Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu? I forgot who plays the main character, but Kerry Washington is the co-actor in that, co-actress. And I see her face, but I can't think of her name right now. But she Heather reminds me of her, that everything looks perfect on the outside. But when you turn all the lights off and you look behind everything, it's hell. It's a total train wreck. And I believe that that's true because Heather, I don't believe that Heather and her husband are together like that. I don't. Because how do you not know that your husband was being sued? And this was years ago. This wasn't recent. This was years ago. So how did you not know your husband was getting sued? That should be like topic of conversation in your lives at least once a week until after the court case. So and what's funny is I don't know if any of you guys know who follow the other fan pages of Bravo. Was there ever an article about Terry being sued by Nicole prior to her coming on to the show? Because Heather has been on the show for years. And that should have made Bravo news. That should have made their fan pages. So I'm trying to see why if that information was out before, then Heather knew should have known that way. So if Heather's on the show and she's claiming she didn't know, I'm trying to figure out how you don't know, and that's your husband. How do you? That's something big. We're not talking about, he, ordered something online and you didn't know it came. We're talking about this man was sued for I'm sure bank, because we're talking about plastic surgery here that went wrong. So I'm sure that this woman got, if not maybe a mill or two, she got a few 100,000 or something close to it, maybe 50,000 or something. So how do you not know? That's what I don't. And she's supposed to be a friend of yours. I'm not going to harp on that much longer, but I'm just saying it just baffles me how Heather could say that she didn't know when your husband, you should have told you that, or you would have known it. You would have seen mail come to the house. Like nothing came from an attorney. Like no emails came across, no documentation, no papers, no files Terry had to get together. Like nothing. There was no talk whatsoever of this lawsuit. Then that leads me to believe that y'all don't communicate and you might not even be under the same roof. Y'all have many properties from what I understand. So I might do a deep dive on the Dubrows one day because I don't like Heather that much. But it depends on where I'm at, because it depends on if I got time today or if I just, want to stick it to Heather because she pissed me off for the 100th time. But anyway, I'm not going to go too much deep into this part one because we still have two more parts and I need to see some of this other stuff play out. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about this one here with this damn Heather, because I'm just finding this out from Up and Adams broadcast. So I'm going to put the link down below and y'all can go over there and if you want to hear the whole video on what Up and Adams said. It's only like a 11-minute video or something like that. It's not that long. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll be back again with another part of that, but I also got some other stuff I want to break down with y'all. So I'm gonna come back with something else before I do another OC recap, because that seems to be all I seem to be putting out lately, and I don't want y'all to think that this is just a Housewives channel, because it's definitely more than that. It just seems to be that I just keep putting up these Housewives OC videos, but I got some more stuff coming up, guys. So stay tuned and I will be back soon. Have a good one, guys, and be safe.